Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. How's it going? I hope you're having a great day, evening, whatever it is. I wanted to come on and just talk for a quick minute about a fun little pastime that I kind of taught myself growing up. And that is, I like to think about different analogies. And I like to just sit there and kind of deconstruct them, see what maybe they meant when they were spoken in the beginning, or how they could apply to different situations, things like that. And I also like to come up with my own analogy sometimes. It's a secret little guilty pleasure of mine to throw out random analogies, especially to my niece, and kind of watch the person sit there and have to work through it. I'm leaving them a blueprint, basically, if they need the information later on, and because they were able to sit there and think about it beforehand, that preparation kind of helped them be more prepared when the situation arose next time. So I was sitting here going back over the last video I made where we talked about the relationships between empath and narcissist, and how one of the biggest weaknesses to a narcissist is just boundaries and really sticking to those boundaries. And so I was sitting here thinking that kind of reminds me about the analogies of people, drawing their line in the sand. And I was like, well, maybe we can go a little bit deeper than that. So I came up with, I think I did, I may not be the original, I don't know. But the analogy that I had come to mind was, let me just make sure I get it right here. The line you drew in the sand didn't mean anything to the ocean. And whoever has that power in that situation is the one that realizes they are the ocean. And what I mean by that, specifically from the point of view of an empath, is when you allow that narcissist to get you in that back and forth of, this is my line in the sand. Okay, you crossed it, let me draw another line, and you step back and back and back, the cycle. When you finally quit fighting and you quit drawing those lines and you really just sit back and think, when you realize that the reason that they're trying to trap you in that cycle of just staying on the beach and just drawing lines in the sand is because they don't want you to realize you are the ocean. The depths of the love that you can give, or just the overall purity of your heart, that is equivalent to the depths of the ocean. So when you realize that you have that much power, you realize that it's actually a disservice to the people you do truly love and that love you to sit there and waste your time drawing lines in the sand over and over again, instead of going out and using your power to help everybody with the ability of the ocean. Which I think kind of goes back into, you can't pour from an empty cup. You're standing on the beach drawing lines. Once you take that time to step back and draw, I guess, really see where those boundaries are, where you would have to hit rock bottom with the boundaries for that other side of you to come out, or for you to want to just be fed up and not deal with them anymore. Whatever it would take for you to get that power back from them and realize just how expansive you are and the gifts that you can give. It's kind of trippy when you think about how pretty much anything in nature can be used to help you understand the human experience. We're modeled after nature. Like you've seen those pictures, I'm sure, on Facebook or whatever it is, where it's like the tree of life and it looks like a pair of lungs and, things like that. So I think another reason that we went so far down into the depths of hell as a society was just the fact that we kept allowing ourselves to be stuck in these cycles with these, evil spirits, instead of realizing what we could be doing and acknowledging that we actually had that much power all along. That's when you start to see the synchronicities, and things just make a lot more sense, and you really start to understand that it is mind, body, and spirit. You can't get the full picture without all three. Anyways, till next time, guys. Drop me a comment if you got any cool analogies that you like, or that maybe you made up yourself, or if maybe there's something you're struggling with that you want me to talk about if I have experience on it, or just maybe anything in particular you guys want to know. But always, at the end of the day, remember, I love you and you're worth it. Till next time, guys.